doing? We out here, chilling in the spot. What up? How y'all doing? We out here, chilling in the spot. What up? How y'all doing? We out here, chilling in the spot. What up? How y'all doing? We out here, chilling in the spot. What up?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Brothers Breaking Bread podcast in the house. Hey!
We'll have a little pop-up. Have everybody over. It'll be good.
Yeah, let's make it happen. Let's not just talk about it.
This is a beautiful thing, man. Just all this blackness, and we all just getting together, we playing dominoes, we eating, we drinking.
And, you know, food is always just the extra, man.
They deprive these people of their basic human rights. You know, and we call ourselves Americans. We're supposed to be above all this.
They'll fake the crisis. They'll make it seem way out of proportion.
We brothers, we breaking bread.
How y'all doing? We out here, chilling in the spot. What up?
Trying to hold it all together, man. Life is moving fast right now, man. So it's good to have everybody come through.
I love that, man. I love it a lot. More than I could say to you guys.
Kansas City, Missouri, where voters overwhelmingly approved removing Martin Luther King's name from one of the city's most historic boulevards. Nearly 70% of residents voting for the removal and just more than 30% to keep the name. The move has been highly divisive. Supporters of retaining the name have called the opposition racist, while those backing the Paseo name say the city...
Stop.
No, what's up?
Stop. Goddamn press.
I was like, what else I'm talking? The peso.
But nigga, you got Cleaver on the phone. You couldn't ask Cleaver. Cleaver got a church on Paseo, bro. You couldn't ask Cleaver how you pronounce this word.
Hold on. Hey,
the whole story about this word.
Hey,
MLK.
Hey, Sharpton got a history because that nigga called Skillets doing the whole Trayvon Martin thing though. He got a history, dog. He got a history of fucking up.
That bag must have been heavy. We had a bag full of skillets.
He got a history. You gotta go back.
Didn't get away from doing it to me.
You gotta go back. I didn't want to laugh at it when he said it, but he said walking with iced tea and skillets. I was like, ooh.
Niggas out here with fucking cast iron, nigga.
Damn. Hey, now, Rev, you said it's gonna start that way. You know that nigga got low. He kind of got a low carb diet. That nigga's blood sugar ain't right.
Is that the episode though? Is that the episode day?
I don't know.
Bag of Skillets, nigga.
I really hate the fact that we all knew that he fucked up, dog. That nigga said Paseos.
Paseo, man.
He said pesos.
Paseo, did we fake James Brown? Paseo Parker?
Paseo, but okay.
God damn, he fucked up.
Ladies and gentlemen, the street name is pronounced Paseo.
Hey, dog. Hey.
The Paseo.
Hey.
The Paseo.
You know, Rev fucking frown. I hope he have his earpiece in. That nigga frown as soon as he heard that shit, dog. This nigga say pesos? Okay, I'm about to push play. Hold on.
Push for a change without proper procedure. With me now is Democratic Congressman from Missouri and former mayor of Kansas City, Emmanuel Cleaver. Congressman Cleaver, this vote, and the reason I wanted to focus in on this because we're dealing with such racial polarization nationally. I don't think that it was even imagined by most that a city would vote to remove the name of Martin Luther King on a street that was voted on and put there, and now all of a sudden removed. And at one point, I believe, the people that wanted his name removed actually came into a black church that you were present and had a silent protest about this.
Well, it was awful, Reverend, and as you and I both know as clergymen in the black experience, that doesn't happen. Even the Klan never marched into a church where SCLC, which I was involved with, was holding a rally, and probably with the National Action Network, the same thing. It just doesn't happen. And I was there at the church when that happened and stood up and just said, hey, you know, I know some of you probably don't understand church and so forth, but you don't do this in a church. I've never done it in a church, and you can't pay me to do it in a church. The thing was confusing because on the ballot, a no vote meant yes, and a yes vote meant no. In other words, they said if you are for removing the sign, you vote yes, and if you want to keep the sign, you vote no. And so I think there was some confusion there. I think the fact that we had some
confusion. Yeah, man. Yeah. So I mean, we talked about it before, though, but I think there's a lot to it also as far as like the history of. We talked about on the last podcast. It was just me and Joe because you other two niggas was foot dragging. We talked about.
Wow, like that. The word is shuffling.
But shuffling,
shuffling ass Negroes.
But but I think the national gauge looks at us, but people here who are more local also know that the Paseo has there's some history to it. Also,
there's a lot of history to Paseo.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, a lot. I'm sorry. So we touched on that,
and
too.
especially to and everybody don't know that if you're not older. It's like, especially to black people.
Yeah.
Paseo means a lot.
Yeah. There's this school name.
That was the You Have Arrived street to move to back in the day.
Yes, it is.
You know, if you get a house at Paseo, you was doing something. You was coming up. That's like, you was moving on up.
And it's funny, like
West Side.
We talked about the Paseo, but nationally, I know we put it like we talked about it. We didn't talk about it, but somebody posted about J.C. Nichols being renamed. Right. But we laugh about it though. But nationally, no one talks about that. And then I didn't want to talk about it on pregame. Cause I know we always talk about save for the show. Like I was part of this stupid ass. They got these with this next door neighborhood apps. And then people were talking about that, and like it was like all these white people like, why would they want to rename J.C. Nichols? Haven't we given them enough? And I was like, let me delete this shit.
Who said that shit?
I don't even know, dog. I just saw all that responses, and I deleted the app because I like, you know what? Facebook and Twitter is enough for me. I don't need none of this shit in my life because I've been cussed. I figured out where all these white people live and show up at their house, man.
Start cutting, nigga.
Hey, be like OJ. Hey, I got a message for you.
I'm here.
But it's like, I don't know if y'all listen, but me and Joe talked about like there's all these other streets, and I get maybe to white people they may have more history as far as us,
right?
But then also we talked about number streets, which tend to run state to state.
Yeah, east to west. They wasn't having that.
Yeah, they wasn't having that.
They want to keep it on. They want to keep this on the east side.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to cross
exactly.
Because the J.C. Nichols Parkway idea came up several years ago, and that was it got smashed immediately.
Yep.
And also there was the number street issue came up. They wanted to people were suggesting like 75th Street or they had like several number streets came up as options, and those were immediately said no. Prospect was brought up, but people were saying no. That's the problem that MLK has now as a street. It's always in the poorest. Highest crime areas. That's why the street is a bad
after
reputation.
this Negro. Can we just find a cul-de-sac filled with Negroes and name it MLK and cul-de-sac?
So
that's basically what they want, though, bruh. You know what it is.
Mm-hmm. It'll be MLK alleyway. That's what they want.
Yeah, they don't want that.
Well, there's apparently there is an MLK Park somewhere tucked in a corner somewhere in the city.
Nah, it's not tucked in the corner. It's the park right by Brush Creek, where the tennis court is.
See, that's not even a park.
That is us.
Hold
That's
on.
not even a park, dog.
Hey,
That's
Joe,
not tucked in the.
hey, Joe
How's it not a
said
park?
That is not a park.
it is a
not a
park.
fucking park.
Joe said
It's one of the best public tennis courts in the city, man.
Joe basically said if you look on the map and point the map at the sun at 2 o'clock,
The MLK tennis court.
MLK tennis court. Well,
You can't even
that shit sound like a Walt Disney movie, nigga.
Right.
Nah, it ain't much parking over there. It ain't much
Right, you
parking.
can't even
Hell no.
the MLK tennis courts. Hallelujah.
Yeah, but but the sad thing is, and I hate it, that did come up in that neighborhood app, and I felt
Is there a sign?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's small one, ain't it?
Small, ain't
That bitch is
It's the same
microscopic.
size all the parks.
Hey,
It's all the other park signs.
I hate to say
Bullshit.
it though, but that came up in that
Motherfucking
neighborhood.
hidden by shrubbery.
That came up in that neighborhood chat group, and I was like, damn, I didn't realize that was a thing. I had to look it up. I'm sorry.
Nah, I didn't realize it either. I've been to
Okay,
the
I was
park.
like, damn, I was getting my black card pulled.
Okay.
I've been to the park. I didn't realize it was MLK Park.
Okay, I thought it was just me. I was like,
MLK tennis court.
because of course somebody said
One of those courts.
somebody said in the chat in that little neighborhood app, didn't we? They said, and I quote, "Didn't we give them a park already?" And I said, I'm about to find this bitch's house and burn it down. Let me delete this app right now.
In that street, they call it murder.
I said, let me delete this app before I start punching white people in the face at work. But Roger, why you hit me? I have a black husband. I don't know, bitch. You white.
You be the worst one sometimes.
I know. I'm just saying, dog. I'm just saying. Yeah, I had to delete that app. But anyway, but yeah. But we
Man, I think the way the whole process went down was just wrong.
No. Hold up. Now, everything Rev usually say, I usually be on point with. But if you let this video play out, Rev think they need to go ahead and do it again, but do it the way they normally do it, which is without public approval. So he wants to go and do it again, but do it through the back channels of.
But that's it. They already did that basically.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He wants to do it again.
Wow.
And I don't know if he wants to do Paseo, but he wants to do it without public approval. And I understand that most situations that, the city council, we elect them to do that and represent us and handle that business. But if the public is said overwhelmingly, we don't want that situation to happen. I don't know, man.
But he also believes there might have been some miswork.
And like I said, it was that's the one street that they was gonna make noise about. It's Paseo.
Like you could probably
might have got away with it somewhere else.
You could have got Truth.
I'm saying, they probably could have got away with Truth.
Yeah, Truth.
But they wasn't gonna get away with Paseo, man.
I mean, like I said, like you talked about another show, Joe. Like Paseo has there was a high school. It was a high school, Paseo High.
Yeah. Paseo High School.
It's isn't it like the oldest street in the city too?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Oh man, you just don't do that arbitrarily.
The oldest street in the city that runs north to south. Yeah.
All I'm saying, there's the Clint Eastwood somewhere talking about, well, those niggas didn't even want Paseo to be renamed. Why should we rename JC Nichols? Fuck them. I'm just saying.
Clint Eastwood said
shit.
I'm just saying,
got a quote?
Yeah, he did. From Clint Eastwood from Gran Torino, nigga. He said it. He rolled up on some niggas on the corner talking about what you spooks voting for today.
You voting on the Paseo?
He voted on the Paseo.
Oh shit!
Yo, y'all walking around with a bag of skillets?
Dog, Al Sharpton lost too much weight, dog. That motherfucker, that nigga's blood sugar low.
A Zona Rosa iced tea.
Oh shit! That was Zona Rosa.
Hey, I got you know what? For the next show, I'm gonna find that
a bag
video.
of skillets.
I'm gonna find that video. That nigga said iced tea in a bag of skillets, dog. I was like, what? No. You're not helping, Al. You're not helping.
Oh man.
That nigga said Paseo, man. Paseo. That's what he said. He said Paseo, dog.
Paseo, same shit.
I think it's one of those things we are all
Oh shit.
I don't know if we're in it. Yeah, I don't know if we disagree and agree with them, but I don't think it should be the percent. Like, especially after we talked about it on the last episode.
Dude,
maybe not the percent.
Yeah, leave that shit alone, man.
Yeah, but
yeah,
there are many other.
So what about the idea of painting this as the Klan?
That was
out here.
Hey.
Yeah.
That was
The Klan. What? Go ahead, John.
They said made because he basically equated that group that came in with the Klan there.
Yeah.
To their state, whether he meant to or not. That's exactly what
the group. Hey, protesting in the church, I think is wrong. That's right.
I definitely agree with that.
He could have made his point without bringing up the Klan, though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, but it goes back to talking about in the first story on the show, where society, this world we live in, and like people just sometimes just go over the top and get crazy with it, and just like when people say I'm being like lynched, and it's like, no, you just said some dumb shit, and you being dragged for it. You're not being lynched, my nigga. And I mean, and he wanted to use some powerful words, but saying that this group is the Klan ain't it. What they did was wrong and fucked up. Agreed. Well, are they the Klan? I don't think so. No. Because did they come down there and burn y'all and start hanging niggas from the front, some trees in front of the church?
And this MSNBC is as bad as Fox.
Oh yeah, on a lot of shit. I stopped watching all of them, dog, because they all give me headaches.
You know what I'm saying? It just slant the other direction. So what I'm saying, they painting this as a black-white issue. I'm telling you what, I've talked to
in
several
this case,
black
I do not
people.
think it is.
No, not when it's 70 to 30. You know? Now, I'm not saying there weren't some people who felt that way. There might have been very well some people who felt that way. Maybe the organizers of the campaign felt that way. I don't know. But I'm saying to you, there's some very, you know what I'm saying, reasonable black people who I think looked at this issue and they said, hey, we want an MLK, but we just don't want to have the expense of Paseo.
Correct.
All right.
But we talked about it too.
Really bottom line.
Yeah, but we talked about it too, John. But now we're all talking about it. But the last episode we talked about it. The national gaze is being painted, as you see there, as is these white folks in Kansas City don't want us to have MLK.
And basically, Mayor Cleveland just reinforced it with that statement.
And that's sad.
He did.
And that's sad because where it's like we talked about.
Yeah.
A lot of black people say, nah, I got a lot of good memories that come with that street. I got family, I got people, there are locations, there are stores, there are parks, there are things on that street that I can relate to that I don't want to go away. I love MLK, but like we said, there are a lot of niggas that saying, why can't these white folks give up J.C. Nichols, which we know ain't gonna happen.
Never. So yeah, I mean, but that's what the portrait is being painted as. You know, Kansas City is the only major city without the name MLK in one of their streets. And you know, and then the scenery is set to where it's race driven.
I got a question.
Cool.
Go ahead.
Now, we 51 years late on renaming MLK.
True.
And so doing that, you know, okay, whatever, you know, we can get caught up, whatever, da-da-da. What if, instead of trying to name Paseo MLK, what if we became one of the first cities to rename a street Barack Obama Way?
Ooh.
Would you have given up Paseo for Barack Obama?
That's a good question, my nigga.
Damn.
I'm still gonna say a lot of.
No, I'm gonna say.
I don't think. Yeah, I think because of the history of the Paseo.
Not
that's gonna
now.
be tough.
Not now.
But I'm saying to you on Barack, there are very few cities that have a street named after him.
No, I
and
agree.
we could be on the cutting edge.
And you really trying to be.
He just got out of office last week.
But no, I'm saying
this is the time to do it.
No, I'm saying though, but like you really trying to be on to make the white people mad. I love it.
Nigga,
of course.
Let's name JC Nichols. Let's name JC Nichols the redliner.
Nigga,
after Barack Obama.
Now you say let's name War Parkway Barack Obama way. I'm down with that.
So many white sheets.
They'll burn the whole city down.
There'll be so many white sheets.
Fuck Kansas City, burn it.
They might build a wall. They might build a wall on War Parkway, nigga.
Let's do Johnson Drive on the Kansas side. Let's do that.
Ooh.
Oh,
and low key,
fuck Mississippi burning, Kansas burning.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it all. I just hate the optics of people thinking that our city is some just back ass city. Will not come into the city and understand the love and relationship we have with the Paseo. That's it. Right. That's all. I think,
and that's what I'm saying. MSNBC.
I think the Rev
went ahead and pulled a Fox move.
Yeah,
and they got somebody that, and I understand. This is our congressman, and I love him on the. Yeah, I love him too. You know what I'm saying, Rev. I love Rev. Seriously love him. But I just feel like, what I'm saying, he was a partisan on this. He was too close to this issue. And they didn't bring anybody in to kind of say the other side of the issue.
Yeah. I think he could have been like, and this is all hindsight, and this is all, he up there on the limelight in the national spotlight, whatever the fuck. He still could have been like, I understand the love that the people of my city have for this street, but I do endorse this. I mean, he could have done something, and then people
I wish you would have been a little bit more pragmatic about that.
Yeah, and people could have been like, "Well, why did he say that?" And then you look up the history of the Paseo, and like, "Oh, I get it. I get why niggas love the street,
right?
Or white people love the street." But we touched on this enough. So, I know, you know what? I don't want to do that. We all got young women in our life that we love, whether it be daughters, whether it be young cousins, whether it be whatever the fuck. So, y'all checking for Hymens out there?
Wow. Nah, bro.
Yeah, nigga, no.
Oh,
crazy segue. I had no way to transition to this, but it's on the docket. So y'all sitting y'all 18-year-old daughters down and making them go to the doctor to make sure they Hymens is in place?
No. He's taking her to the doctor.
No. That's what I'm saying. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. His daughter, who was 18, and I guess we found out that this happens every year that she goes
every year
Hymen checked.
Like a couple days after her birthday.
And I ain't talking about Phyllis Hymen. I'm not talking about her singing songs.
My God, touchdown.
I ain't talking about Hymie Town.
Talking about Hymen Town. God damn, nigga. Hymie Town. That nigga went back. But,
he went way back. God damn it. He went back to Eddie Murphy, man.
And I know we all
don't let me down.
We all are like either
Hymie Town.
We're goddamn. I know we are all uncles. We're all fathers. We're all goddamn it. Nigga, everybody stay on point. Cause y'all get on me when she get off track. So we are all like, we have young women that we care for and love for, that we want to be, protected in good members of society and make sure that they are happy. I hope ain't none of you niggas doing this. So everybody said no. So what we found out over this last week is that T.I., the Trap King, has been. Well, here we go. Let me read this. Maybe T.I. is getting too many parent ideas from The Handmaid's Tale. On the podcast, Ladies Like Us with whoever, the rapper once contributed a verse to Blurred Lines. No, wait. This is his rap song. Oh no. Okay, yeah. Wait. God damn it. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, this is different. This is a different article. T.I. proudly stating he goes to the gyno with his daughter to make sure she's a virgin is disgusting. So what this person is alluding to is that, so basically, since his daughter is 18, she's her own person. He makes her sign a document allowing the doctor to discuss with him her medical records. And basically, the doctor tells T.I. yay or nay that her hymen has been broken. And for those who don't know, this is kind of a thing that kind of sort of let you know if your daughter is having sex. But you should also know the hymen can be broken for various reasons: horseback riding, vigorous activities, gymnastics, whatever. Hymen being broken does not automatically mean you're having sex. And the doctor also, in one of the stories or reports, lets T.I. know this. And he also goes and say that she ain't riding no horses, this and that. We also come to find out that this has been happening yearly for some time now. Mm-hmm. This nigga taking his daughter yearly to the doctor for a checkup to make sure that she's still a virgin.
It's ridiculous. It's stupid. I mean, it's like some like Victorian puritanical type something, and it's not gonna stop her because you know what, like she could be taking up the ass or something. I mean,
that is true. There are.
Hey, that's a thing.
That is a thing.
That's a thing. Like girls, they're saying my hymen is not broken, but I am having sex. You know, yeah. Or she just might be giving a bunch of blowjobs or something. Whatever. It's like you can't stop them. Like you educate your kids and you try to teach them the right things, how to conduct themselves out here in the world, but then you just got to let them go do it at a certain age and hope that they do the right thing. Okay. You can't try to control it. Okay. He's more likely to make her go out there and be a wild and crazy.
Hey.
You know, by trying to control her, than if you know.
Hey James,
just let her do the thing.
Hey James, I found it. Here we go. He said to his eldest daughter Deja, he takes his eldest daughter Deja, I think that's how I pronounce it, you know me and names, to the gynecologist every year to have her hymen checked to make sure she's still a virgin. Hear it all for yourself around the 45-minute mark. Usually, like the day after the party, she enjoys her gifts. He explained, I put a sticky note on the door, gyno, tomorrow, 9:30. The birthday present every girl dreams of. When they get to the appointment and the doctor asks his daughter to sign the release, I say, Deja, they want you to sign this so we can share information. Do you have? Is there anything that you would not want me to know? Oh, okay. See, Doc, ain't no problem. Now we're not going to teach a full sex ed lesson, but there are plenty of ways to have sex without breaking the hymen. Not to mention plenty of other activities that can break the hymen. But T.I. knows this too. I say, look, Doc, I wish I had a hat like at a 90-degree angle off the side of my fucking head as I did his voice. Look, Doc, she don't ride no horses, she don't ride no bikes, she don't play no sports, man. Just check the hymen, please, and give me back my results expeditiously. I hope he didn't say that. I hate him.
Yeah, he did. He said it. He said just like that too.
I will say, as of her 18th birthday, her hymen is still intact. The host, who interrupted his story throughout to joke that Deja was a prisoner and somebody needed to check on Deja. I'm not reading all this shit, dog. That's fucking crazy, bro. I mean, where as a father, and I get it, and that's why I'm glad I have sisters who are aunties, because even though my daughter knows I'm not crazy, I ain't about to pull up with no guns in no nigga's house unless it's like this nigga put hands on me, then that's different. Right. But if she tell me I had sex with a boy or a man or whenever that time comes, you know, we would just talk about it. But there's a lot of other information that I understand my daughter's not going to be comfortable with me with. But I think she also knows that my sisters are going to come and tell me, that her mom is going to come and tell me. Right. And I don't say nothing. I just go, okay. I process it. But what are we saying to young women when we act like this? I mean, how would my daughter feel safe telling me anything if I'm treating her vagina like a goddamn annual checkup for my car, and the tires better be right, and the engine better not be broken? I mean, so what happens if her hymen ain't intact?
You gotta, I guess you gotta redo it, rebuild it.
You gotta rebuild it.
Yes.
So are we checking the boys? Are we checking the boys? Are we checking?
Did you just say rebuild the hymen?
Yeah, rebuild. You talking about cars?
I don't know. What is this?
What you gonna do? Get a vagina transplant?
Property. It's treating the dog like it's his property.
and I know we all love the scene from fucking Bad Boys at the door, and it's a good scene. That's funny when Reggie shows up.
Hell yeah, that was.
That's a classic scene. But I ain't doing that shit. My brother ain't doing that shit.
Nah,
that's a joke. But I guess there are. We all know, not guess. We all know there are men out there that behave this way. Yeah. What is the weird possession with our daughters? And this isn't the thing of like, I hope she's safe. I hope she's doing the right thing. I hope that she's not being forced in anything. I hope she's not being beaten. This is strictly possession of a female body.
Right. I agree. I totally agree. I don't think that any father, should have the right to, subject their daughters to such cruelty right there. And she's 18. Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, fuck the gender. I want all my kids to be out there being safe. Right. I want them all to be making the right decisions.
Exactly.
Whether it's putting a dick in somewhere, it's putting a dick inside you. I don't know. Maybe maybe the boys like boys. So whatever the fuck, I want you to be safe.
Right.
So this doesn't seem to be and people will say you're overreaching, but this I don't know. Maybe he's the most loving, caring dad, but he just has a weird way of showing it. I don't know.
Yeah, that I don't trust, man. I don't trust taking, having him take his daughter out to the gynecologist and sharing that, that information. I mean, getting that information told to him about if her hymen's intact or not. Yeah, I think that's really, it's not only weird, but,
I mean, it's one thing to say, okay,
that's wrong.
Your mom can't be here. I will take you to this visit.
Yeah, and that's it.
It isn't anything you need to tell me. I don't want to tell me. I hope you feel free to tell me. Mm-hmm. Whatever. But I mean, I don't know. This shit's just weird.
Yeah.
Then you got Irv Gotti coming out later on, like a couple days after this, talking about how he pulled a gun on his daughter's boyfriend when they were talking about sex or whatever the fuck, and I'm like, niggas is weird.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, them be the first ones that wild out.
Yeah.
The ones that got them over controlling parents and stuff like that. Yeah. They're trying to control every aspect of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And basically have them like living in a prison.
Pretty much.
Be the wildest ones.
They'd be the wildest ones. Those are the ones that be on the stripper pole.
Yeah, I remember, like, I should have took a picture of it, but it's like Walmart had some weird shirt where it was like my guns, my tools, my daughter, and it was like all these objects that I control and own, plus my daughter. Uh-huh. And it was just like, I'm like, that's a weird T-shirt.
Yeah.
Here at Walmart. I'm just like,
not really.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, usually
Walmart sells some weird shit.
No, they do sell weird shit, but usually you see them like weird shirts online. But like Walmart, like the weird, like you don't see like crazy over the top. My guns, my bitch, my daughter. Don't touch nothing.
No, that's a Spencer's Gifts type shit.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. So we just my daughter and my tools, all the same. I got you. So I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I don't, you know, I don't want to tell people how to parent, but teaching your daughter, treating your daughter like property,
man. That's a little. That's overt, man. I mean, that's gone too far.
Yeah. Do I want my children just out in the world fucking anybody and everybody? No. But do I want to make it a place to where they feel they can't tell me about what they're doing with their sexual experience? I don't want that either. I mean,
but see, this is how we living now, man. We live in extremes now, man. It ain't no. It's all the way to one end or the other. You know, there's no balance. There's no, you know, something in the middle that makes more sense. It's like you either way over here or you way over there. And if you're in the middle, then I don't know what you are. You're in no man's land these days.
Yeah, and I keep forgetting that we just some middle-aged niggas on the podcast who are pretty much in the gray area of life. I keep forgetting that.
Yep.
So sometimes when we see this shit, and I'm like, this is crazy, and then y'all go, yeah, this is crazy, and I go, yeah, we just normal niggas just say, this ain't normal.
No.
All right.
But being extreme is the new normal.
Yeah.
And I hate it, dog.
Being extreme, no compromise.
No.
Only your perspective matters.
Right.
You're either with me or you're against me. You know, all that kind of shit.
Yeah. But even like within our gray area, we all, even like in our chat group and even on the podcast, we do differ on some things and we keep each other in check. We don't have that crazy echo chamber where it's just like we all agree on the same thing and then it's like just madness because we all just yell, yeah, this is wrong. Like, I mean, there's been numerous times on this show and the previous show where we disagree in however slight it is, but we're still holding each other in check. And like even when we disagree, I sometimes step back after the show and I re-listen and I go, yeah, you know what? Maybe I might be wrong. I don't agree fully with James, but I think, you know what? Maybe I can slide it back a little bit or push it up a little bit. And I think that's needed in this world. And social media especially allows us to just mute everybody who we don't agree with, who doesn't hold our exact same view. And like you said, James, we just have all these fucking extremes right now. 'Cause I think that's what happens. We ain't gotta be sitting. Like, tomorrow, we're going to be sitting in the house together, breaking bread, and even though I'm an atheist, y'all are the Christian faith, and Ada is, or Lady Lavender is, she's not atheist, she's agnostic. Here we're going to be all under one roof with these various degrees of belief that are certain kinds of gray, but we all hold each other accountable to being decent. And we also question each other and keep each other sharp so that when we go out into the world, we're just not blinded or think that the one way we think is the only way we should think. And I think that too many people in the world are getting this way, and that's very dangerous. Very dangerous. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Hate to end it on that note, but yeah, stop checking your daughter's hymens. Don't do that.
Please don't.
Please don't check. No.
Is your daughter being safe? Is your son being safe? Are they in a loving relationship? Are they being forced to do anything that they don't want to do? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Have they had a sexual experience and don't feel right about it, or don't know how they feel about it, or maybe they did something sexually that they didn't want to do, but felt that they had to do it, but it wasn't right. But it's so many things, so many areas that we've all been through as young men and young women. Because let's elaborate on the show. As young men and young women that we were going through in our high school ages, our college ages, that we question, that we know our children are going through. Why make it fucking weird for them to come to us and talk about these things? It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we talked about a lot of things. We didn't talk about a lot of things, but we talked a lot of shit about a couple things.
Yeah. That's pretty much par for the course.
So to wrap it up, don't try to fight men who are bigger than you. because they might hit you over the head with a helmet.
Sir.
Yes, sir. Don't be a piece of shit president, because you might get impeached.
Yeah.
That's about it. When it comes to trying to rename a street, understand the history of that street, and that some people might not be okay with it.
Right.
Okay.
And kind of learn how to pronounce it so people know what the hell you're talking about.
It's not the peso. It's not the Paseo. It's not the Paseo. It's just
and don't get caught down in Florida with a Zona Rosa iced tea and a bag of skillets.
Skillets. Don't get Zona Rosa. God damn, Zona Rosas, dog. The Zona Rosa.
I had a Zona
Rosa iced tea.
Damn, I hate
had that Zona Rosa iced tea.
Zona Rosa iced tea.
Somebody died. Zona Rosa iced tea and skillets.
A little taste of Kansas City humor right there. That's Kansas City
Zona
humor right there.
All the way.
All the way, dog.
We'll play Zona Rosa ITs and skillets, dog. Don't do that.
That's some skillets.
Skillets, dog.
A bag of skillets.
And
God damn it.
You know what? And I won't.
It's the cat's turn.
And I'm not gonna tell parents what not to do. But if you do it, don't go on social media telling people that you check your 18-year-old daughter's hymen.
Yeah. Hymie Town.
Hymie Town, dog.
Don't let me down, Hymie Town.
So as always, man, I thank you brothers for your time getting on.
With that finance.
I will see y'all. What y'all doing? What's going on? It's time to go. Time to go to bed.
I'm about to YouTube that before I go to sleep.
What? Hymie Town.
Don't let me down, Hymie Town.
Oh my God, I hate y'all sometimes. Yeah, I'm gonna see you niggas tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you then.
Yep.
Hey, this is Brothers Breaking Bread podcast, Triple B's. Thank you for your time. Never ever miss a moment to break bread with your brothers, and we out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jesse Jackson. And I was recently quoted in the Washington Post as referring to a certain group of people as Hymies. They also said that I called New York Hymie Town. I realize that kind of talk isn't kosher, but let me see if I can explain it to you all in song. As I said, I'm Jesse Jackson, and I'm running for President of the United States. I'm a Libra, and this is a very special message to all you chosen people out there. Don't let me down. No, no. Don't let me down. No, no, no. Don't let me down. I'm a town. I'm a town. I was your one and only until I read the news. Well, now I'm sad and lonely since I put down the Jews. We have so much in common because we've both been so oppressed. All right. We both have big noses and gold chains on our chest. I want to say, please now, don't let me down. I'm begging you, please. Don't let me down. I'm down on my knees. Well. Don't let me down. I'm in town. I'm in town. I want to form a new coalition of soul people and bagel people. From the Chitlin district to the Diamond district. From catfish to gefilte fish. We all need to live as one. I want to look out over the crowd and see both leather hats and yarmulkes side by side. So come on, you brothers and sisters. All you Hymies and Hymettes. Let's get it together. Let's bring it on down. I want to talk about love for one another. Want to form a soul and kosher coalition. I love those black suits you wear. and them little tiny curls that hang down in your hair. You know we all need one another. Wanna stay right here in Hymie Town? Well. And all my Hymen brothers and sisters. Sometimes I feel a little Hymen myself. But Rook hotter than Noah. Hymie Town.
Welcome to Politics Nation. I'm Al Sharpton. Tonight's lead, the shooting death of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin is sparking a national outcry for justice. 3 weeks ago, the high school junior was shot and killed. The police know who shot him. George Zimmerman, the neighborhood watch captain, says he shot the teen in self-defense. But the young man was not armed. He was going back home after buying an iced tea and Skillets candy. Help me, that's tough to hear. And more panicked neighborhoods calling for help. No name calling, no incendiary language, just the facts. A young man dead. The assailant says self-defense. What is found on the young man, Skillets and iced tea. Joining me live from Sanford, Florida, is NBC News correspondent Lilia Luciano. Lilia, where does the case stand tonight? Well, thank you, Lilia. There's clearly a case here that there's no doubt the young man was killed. There's no doubt even by Zimmerman's admission that he did it. And there's no doubt that he was not under life-extenuating circumstances unless IT and Skillets are considered a threat.
Question is, but it keeps fucking up.
I think my microphone is like dying.
Yeah, because it keeps fucking up.
Got these recordings, nigga. I don't want to hear shit.
See, now you cutting in and out.
Hey, you cutting in and out now.
Yeah. I unplugged it. That's why I was cutting in and out. But as much tomfoolery I done deal with you niggas and y'all microphones and headphones throughout this shit, y'all can have me having a bad microphone for one day. There. We had an episode where Joe had a turn signal on for 30 minutes. I don't know where this nigga was going, right, but that nigga was turning for 30 minutes. I was like, God damn.
This is the longest turn ever.
That nigga. What did this lane look like, nigga? God damn. And then we had the episode with Anthony where this nigga sounded like he was in the goddamn one of them tubes they test the aerodynamics of a car.
He always sound like he in a cave in Afghanistan and shit.
That's
Are you landing? What's going on, dog? What are you doing?
Hide from the fucking mountain division and shit.
Okay.
Don't forget about the chair, nigga.
Oh, God.
God.
This nigga got a torture rack in the house we was living in. Nigga down there torturing white bitches. This nigga getting drunk off of Zimas and torturing white women.
Bitches tied up and shit.
You know he's a serial killer. Look at his goddamn profile picture. It's sideways.
That shit with Morgan Freeman and shit. Kiss the girls. That's it.
Hey, James, have you peeped this nigga's profile picture on Skype? It's sideways. He's a serial killer.
Hey. It's the subject of a James Patterson novel.
Oh, shit.
All right, okay. We done.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, we ready. I think I'm ready.
Yeah. You sure?
I don't know. If this motherfucker, if my microphone fucks up, I'm just gonna throw it out the window. I've been looking for a new microphone though.
Yeah.
All right. I know the time is coming. God damn, what's wrong?
Break bread with your brothers whenever possible.